Yes, Your Honor. So again, just briefly, February 5th, Ms. Greathouse was ordered to obtain the sober link, which she did. I received an email February 8th indicating that Ms. Greathouse was positive for alcohol 7:27 p.m. at 0.019%. For counsel and for yourself, Judge, anything below a 0.020% does not require a reblow, and therefore no reblow was required at that time. On the 9th, as listed on the sheet that counsel has been provided, as well as yourself, Your Honor, Mr. Hunt does have this information as well. Beginning at 11 a.m., Ms. Greathouse was positive at a 0.029%. She called House Arrest Services claiming this was due to brushing her teeth. House Arrest Services did inform her to continue to blow as required. So at 11:17, she was this is a typo on my part, that was 0.023% at 11:17 a.m., Your Honor, again, my typo. At 11:34 a.m., she was 0.23, 11:53 a.m., 0.017, again, under that cutoff, no more reblows were required, but resumed to be positive at 3:26 p.m. at 0.020, 3:44 at 0.013, under that cutoff, no further blows required. Continued to be positive that day, 7:22 p.m. at 0.023%, 7:40 at 0.022, 7:57 at 0.019, under the cutoff. Continued to be positive that day at 11:22 p.m. at 0.025%, and 11:39 p.m. at 0.018%, under that cutoff. Then on the next day, February 10th, she was negative for her morning blow. However, resumed being positive at 11:27 a.m. at 0.023, 11:44, 0.017%, under that cutoff. Continued to be positive that day, 3:27 p.m. at 0.040%, at 3:44, 0.033%, at 4:02 p.m. 0.027%, 4:19 p.m. 0.021%, at 4:37 p.m. 0.016, under that cutoff. She did continue to be positive for alcohol, however, again, under the cutoff at 7:29 p.m. and 11:18 p.m. The following day, February 11th, she was negative for her morning blow. Positive again, 11:25 a.m. at 0.025%, 11:43 a.m. at 0.021, and at 12:02 p.m. under that cutoff at 0.016. She continued to be positive under that cutoff at 7:11 p.m. at 0.019%, and at 11 p.m. she did fail to blow. An hour and 55 minutes later, at 12:55 a.m., she did blow, and she was all zeros on her late blow from 11 p.m. Last night. In the meantime, she did call House Arrest Services, and she claimed that her device was malfunctioning because it was requiring her to continue to blow. House Arrest Services did inform her that as well.
The prosecution tightens its grip, pointing to the signed agreement. Wait 20 minutes after toothpaste, mouthwash, or anything containing alcohol. The device's repeated prompts weren't glitches, they argue, but safeguards. Blow until you're under the cutoff. What sounds like a malfunction is framed as protocol. The pattern, they imply, isn't environmental contamination. It's consumption.
As long as it told her to reblow that she needed to. This is what happens when we're positive for alcohol. It's going to have you blow until you are under that cutoff to ensure that it isn't environmentals like toothpaste and all the other excuses that sometimes we hear, but the one excuse that Ms. Greathouse used brushing her teeth back on February 9th. I did ask them to send over her contract as well that she signs with them that indicates that she agrees to wait at least 20 minutes after using any mouthwash or any product containing alcohol, such as, but not limited to, hand sanitizer or any other topical substances that may include alcohol like cologne, perfume, bug spray, before she submits a test, as well as she agreed to submit to required tests if requested by the device after a sample had been submitted. There is no issue with Ms. Greathouse continuing to blow, but again, it's not a malfunction of the device. Mr. Hunt here is to do his testimony, It's because of the detected use of alcohol that she had to continue to blow, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have any questions of Ms. Wiles?
Do I?
No, your lawyer.
Ma'am, you're not technically prepared to testify reliable this device is, correct?
I would leave that up to Mr. Hunt, sir.
The answer is no. You're not technically qualified.
Okay.
My questions are Mr. Hunt.
Okay. Mr. Hunt, I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll give in these proceedings will be the whole truth, so help you God.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you want to ask him some questions?
I'm gonna ask him, just a brief question in relation to an email, and then I'm happy with Mr. Longton, of course, to ask Mr. Hunt any questions. Mr. Hunt, you and I had talked on the phone. I asked you to review those blows, from Mrs. Greathouse, in reference to the possibility of that device being defective. And you indicated to me that as a knee-jerk reaction, you did feel that it could be a malfunction of the device, but that you wanted time to look at those blows and make, of course, a more
The turning point lands in a single line, consistent with drinking. What began as a possible device failure shifts under expert review into calculated elimination rates and event-by-event analysis. The monitoring data, once questioned, is now mathematically interpreted. The state leans on pattern, not possibility, transforming scattered positives into a narrative of deliberate alcohol use.
professional decision. And you indicated to me in the email, I'm going to ask you if this is correct, that in looking at each single event, these are consistent with drinking. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Thank you. No other questions, Your Honor.
All right. Do you have any questions of him?
Mr. Hunt, when my client calls Silverland to complain about the device, did she talk to you or to someone else?
She would have spoke to somebody in the monitoring center.
Who would she have spoken?
I would have to pull some calls to get names. I do have a note in here from Miss Hall, one of our monitoring room employees,
And that note says what?
that she called and stated the device keeps telling her to take to test multiple times. We advise her to just keep testing when the device says to. She stated that it may be because she smokes cigarettes. We advised her to reach out to her officer if she has any questions about the report.
What else do you have in your notes?
I have another note in here from a Miss May that says that the client called and stated she brushed her teeth and then left the house and tested on her device.
Do you have any other notes?
Those are the two notes on her account.
Do you have any notes from your staff indicating that they spoke to her about having the device recalibrated?
I do not know.
How often do these devices need to be recalibrated?
The devices are recalibrated after 1,500 tests have been taken. This device, I'm still waiting to hear back from the manufacturer because this was kind of short notice. But this device has, as of right now, 1,448 tests remaining until calibration, which indicates to me that the device was recently calibrated before given to Miss Greathouse.
Isn't it true that these devices sometimes fail before reading 1,500 tests?
It's technology, so yes, that's certainly possible.
Isn't it true that it has happened and you have a record of these devices failing?
Yes.
So you don't know whether these test results are accurate or not.
But I mean,
You don't.
no, I do not. No.
Your Honor, nothing further than this call.
Do you have any other questions?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Mr. Hunt, is it possible to send a device into the manufacturer to determine in this?
Now the defense presses the weak spot, calibration. Technology can fail. Devices aren't infallible. Without a manufacturer's definitive report, certainty dissolves into probability. The witness concedes he's not a calibration expert. Suddenly, what seemed precise becomes conditional. The courtroom pivots from numbers to doubt, and doubt is powerful.
Circumstance, if this is a device failure or not? Would there be a definitive answer?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Hunt, the question is, if you send it back to the manufacturer, can they tell definitively whether or not it has been failed? Are you technically an expert that you could tell us if that's true or false? That the manufacturer can tell us definitively whether or not it's been failing?
I would be able to recite the report that was given, but no, I'm not an expert in device calibration. No.
So we don't know whether or not the manufacturer's report would be definitive or not, do we?
We don't even have that report yet to determine if it's definitive.
I'm sorry, this is just totally across the cap.
Wait a minute. I want to interject.
I wasn't done.
Yeah, let her finish first. Go ahead. You want to ask a question?
Yeah, I had a follow-up question to
Go-
that, but
go ahead.
Mr. Longton chimed in. Mr. Hunt, and it actually alluded to actually what Mr. Longton was. So if we send that device in and the manufacturer reviews the device, and we get that report back, that then, piggybacking off Mr. Longton's question, then being the expert, because that is their device, would we know if it malfunctioned or not?
Yes, correct.
Thank you. And I am done now.
And read the conclusion that he drew in the email again. Will you do that for me, please?
I can actually read that in whole. Says, good morning, Ms. Wilds. As we discussed on the phone, I went ahead and did some math to figure elimination rates. And these events are consistent with consumption. I have a consolidated report attached, and I also have a detailed report covering her positive dates from 2/9 to today. Knee-jerk reaction, seeing the mix of positive and compliant, was device failure, but looking at each
As the email is read aloud, the courtroom hears the conclusion in full context. Initial suspicion of malfunction fades under closer scrutiny. Each isolated event aligns with drinking behavior. The language is careful, analytical, clinical, and yet its implication is heavy. The science doesn't shout. It quietly confirms a pattern the prosecution wants the court to see.
as a single event. These are consistent with drinking. If you have any questions, please let me know. And it is signed by Mr. Hunt.
All right. Do you have other questions?
I have none. I had my comment, that's it.
Okay. Raise your right hand, ma'am. You solemnly swear or affirm under penalties of perjury the testimony you give in these proceedings will be the whole true self you got. Okay, go ahead.
So, what happened during the earliest possible?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
What happened with Silver starting with these early possible days, like February? What happened?
On the night, so I had taken a couple of days off since the last time I was in court and I stayed home. And then I went back to work that Tuesday, I believe, and I'm in my car a lot. So when I left this morning,
Wait a minute. Which morning are you talking about?
the 9th, I believe that was Tuesday.
Well, the first one said she was positive for alcohol at 7:27 PM on February 8th.
Talk about February.
8th. What day of the week was that?
February 8th would have been a Sunday.
Honestly, Sunday I was at home with my kids. We played some games, had the football game on. I got them to bed because they had school the next day. And then, so it must have been Monday then.
February 8th is the thing.
Okay, so then starting that Monday, I had gone back to work, back into the office, driving around throughout the
So the
day.
question is, what happened on February 8th at 7:27 PM?
No idea. You know, I didn't ask, I don't remember that it asked me to retest. Honestly, that was on Sunday. I don't
Okay.
remember.
Go ahead. On the 9th, you went to work. What time did you go to work?
I left my house at about 10:45.
Okay, where do you work at?
The office is in Allen Park, but I drive clients around or meet them at different houses. I do real estate.
Okay, so,
So on Monday, I had a client that, well, I went to the office first, we had an 11 o'clock Zoom. I did the Zoom and then I left. I met up with the client, so I did a bit of driving around. When I had gotten the first one, I brushed my teeth, left the house. I do smoke cigarettes, so when I called, I didn't claim that it was because of brushing my teeth. From my recollection, that was the first time it had asked me to retest. So when it happened, I called right away and asked about it.
Who?
I called house arrest. And I said, this is asking me to retest. And so I had asked questions the day when I signed the paperwork, when I got the device, and like Ms. Wilds had explained, like they did kind of go over everything. That was the day that I was in court. Did I necessarily remember the 15 minutes before and all of that stuff? No, yes, I did sign it. There was a lot going on. It was high stress, high anxiety. She went over it.
Let's keep.
Okay, so this day, all day I was driving around clients and I picked my kids up at this 3:26 time. I was with my kids. We went home, we had dinner. That was on Monday. They didn't have any sports that evening.
When is the last time you consumed heavy alcohol? Is it before February 8th, 26?
It was. Yes, it was in December.
Last time you consumed alcohol?
Yes, sir.
Did you consume alcohol on February 9th any time?
No, sir.
So, on your device, when you blew at 326 and 344, did you see these readings on your device?
No, sir.
You don't see these readings?
No, sir.
They don't. And okay, so you just
So I
said
did a
it.
retest. No, sir.
And when you're asked to reblow,
Yes, sir.
when were you asked to reblow?
Tells you to wait 15 minutes.
Right, so on February 9th, how many times were you asked to reblow?
The 9th. Felt like every time I did it, that's why I called. And then I wasn't asked to reblow on the 10th in the morning. and I
Let's stick
think-
with the 9th.
Okay, so every time, and I had called that day, and I called house arrest, and I said, it keeps asking me to reblow. What could the reason be? She said I could bring it in and have it recalibrated, and then I had.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So then the next test, I believe, did not ask me to reblow. And then the one in the evening, I think did ask me to reblow, and then the next day, it didn't in the morning, and then it did a couple of times throughout the day. I think that one was the day that it asked me multiple times, or maybe not.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
I ordered you to go and get the sober link the day you were in court. That's February 5th, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you go on the 5th?
Yes, sir.
Did you have any problems when you blew into the machine on the 5th after you acquired it?
The first machine they gave me was not working, so she gave me a second one, and then
Before you left?
no.
Wait a minute, slow down. Let's slow down. You went over to house arrest on the 5th
Yes, sir.
in Livonia.
Warren,
Warren, I'm sorry. Warren,
Yes, sir.
you said she replaced the machine?
The first one she gave me was not working.
And did she replace the machine before you left house arrest?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you went back from house arrest on the 5th, right? With a workable machine, at least in your mind.
Yes, sir.
Did you have any problem when you blew in that machine on the 5th?
No.
Did you have any problem when you blew in that machine on the 6th?
On this, I don't remember if it was.
Well, let's
What was the
wait,
date?
whoa. Let's not guess. The 8th was Sunday.
Yes, sir.
The 5th would have been Thursday.
Yes, sir.
You got the machine on the 3rd, on Thursday, the 5th.
Yes, sir.
You didn't have any positive blows with it on the 6th, right? You didn't have any positive blows with it on the 7th. Wait, let me finish. You didn't have any positive blows on that machine on the 7th, did you?
No, sir.
And when you woke up in the morning, when is the first time you tested on the 8th?
Would have been